Good morning. Today we journey through Isaiah chapters 5 and 6. And again, Isaiah, the prophet, has some not good news for the people for the most part. As we begin chapter 5, let me sing for my beloved my love song concerning his vineyard. My beloved has a vineyard on a very fertile hill. He dug it, cleared it, planted it, and it yielded wild grapes. So God is talking about Israel, the people of Israel, his chosen people, and how they don't do what he says, they don't follow his word, and they yield wild grapes. They're just not ready to listen. And so in verse 3, now inhabitants of Jerusalem and Judah, you judge between me and my vineyard. He's telling the people of Israel that you be the judge. I mean, you can look and see, did you do right or did you do wrong? I mean, God will judge us for what we have done and what we have not done. And he judges us through the lens of Jesus Christ, which is so fortunate for us. But God is asking Judah to judge themselves. And in so many ways, I mean, we need to do that too. We look at ourselves and we judge ourselves guilty. We know we're guilty. And we know we deserve, anything other than forgiveness and grace. But we rely on God that way. See, he says, you judge between me. What more was I to do, that I have not done? I have yielded, when I expected it to yield grapes, why did it yield sour grapes? Why didn't you listen? Why didn't you grow and flourish and treasure my word? And, but instead, you ignored so much. And now, verse 6, now I will tell you what I will do. I will remove its hedge, it will be devoured. I will make it a waste. It will be not pruned or hoed, and it's not good news, that, the land will be, waste. Last part of verse 6, I will command the clouds that they rain no more upon it. And so the vineyard, the fertile ground, without rain, what can it do? It becomes parched and dry and huge cracks show and nothing grows. Verse 7, the vineyard of the Lord is the house of Israel, and the people of Judah are his planting. He expected justice, but saw bloodshed. He expected righteousness, but heard a cry. His expectations of the people were that they would hear his word, they would respond to his love and grace, and that they would show that same love and grace to others, and that they would, live according to his word. And they don't. And then verse 10, for 10 acres of vineyard shall yield but one bath. The bath is about, roughly 6 gallons. That's how much water it took for a bath in that day. And I don't know how much water we put in our tubs today, for a bath. But, so you think about 10 acres of vineyard, one bath. I mean, 5.8 gallons, 6 gallons, roughly a bushel. So you think about if you had 10 acres of ground that yielded one bushel, that's nothing. That's a disaster, a failure. And this is what God is saying. A homer of seed will yield a mere ephah. And a homer of seed would be equal to, 10 baths or roughly 60 gallons or 60 bushels, maybe you could say. So you seed 60 bushels and you get an ephah. And an ephah is 1/6 of a homer, of a bushel. It's nothing. And this is what God is seeing from his people Israel. I do all of this. I have seeded plenty. I have, and what do I get in return? I mean, who is faithful? I mean, this is, such a small percentage. And it says, you who rise early in the morning in pursuit of strong drink and linger in the evening and be inflamed by wine, you don't regard the deeds of the work or see the work of his hands. Therefore, my people will go into exile. And so God is warning them, again, through the prophet, which he did so many times, that, that they're going to come to ruin. They're going to come to ruin. Therefore, Sheol has enlarged its appetite, People are bowed down, everyone's brought low, and the eyes of the haughty are humbled. But that verse 16, the Lord of hosts is exalted by justice, and the holy God shows himself holy by his righteousness. So God continues to be faithful to his people. And because of that, then the lambs will graze in green pastures. And, there's this promise of forgiveness. There's this promise of future. But then again, you who drag iniquity along with cords of falsehood, who drag sin along with ropes and carts. And then verse 6, you who call evil good and good evil, who put darkness for light. And we see that, we hear that so much today, that, people are saying that evil is good, and that, this isn't a sin and whatever, and it's that, here we have Isaiah saying, you who call evil good and good evil, who put darkness for light and light for darkness, who put bitter for sweet, you turn everything around. You're not following the way it should be. You're wise in your own eyes. Therefore, verse 24, therefore the tongue of fire devours the stubble, and the dry grass sinks down in flame. Destruction, devastation. The fall of Israel is imminent. In verse 25, the anger of the Lord is kindled against his people. He reached out his hand, struck him down. Verse 26, he will raise a signal for a nation far away and whistle for a people at the ends of the earth. This is the nation of Assyria will come and conquer the Israelites, just like the Babylonians come and conquer the Israelites, and the Roman government conquers the Israelites. They just don't get it. To follow God. Here they come, swiftly, speedily. None of them is weary, none stumbles. I mean, these foreign armies come full of energy and vigor, and the Israelites have got nothing to stand against them. They're just, they're just helpless. Chapter 6, very specific. In the year King Uzziah died, so, for the people of Isaiah's day, they know when that year, and he said, I saw the Lord sitting on the throne. And, what an image, to see God sitting on his throne, and the angels and the seraphim and others worshiping God, holy, holy, holy is the Lord. The whole earth is full of his glory. And then, verse 6, one of the seraphs flew to me, touched my lips with a live hot coal. This is the purification by God. This is the forgiveness by God. This is God making him clean, cleansed by God's forgiveness. This is the image that is that. And then the voice comes from God, whom shall I send? And Isaiah, here am I, send me. And this is our call today too. God, who will I send? Who is going to live a life that shows my love and my grace? And that's each and every one of us. We'll sing on Eagles Wings, here I am, here I am, Lord. Is it I, Lord? But it's, here am I, send me. And this is what God's people are called to do. And the prophets that God sent, they definitely didn't want to be prophets. They didn't want to come with this word of doom and devastation, but to hear the word of forgiveness, the cleansing act of God. And then the very last verse of chapter 6, the very last few words, the holy seed is its stump. There was always a remnant of Israel. There is still a remnant of Israel, God's chosen people. And through all of it, doesn't matter what happened, but God is always faithful to God's people.